everybody? Hope everybody's doing good. Welcome to the second class of Core 102. This is Mr. Mall speaking. I am recording my rough draft copy of the class for today. So we're in the second week. I'm going to put myself in student view so that I can see that you guys are seeing on where I'm at, if that made sense. It's late in the night. I had a heck of a day. Having a hard time talking. But just to remind people, I do record the class every day beforehand, just to think about what I'm going to say, seeing if things look like they make sense, where they might not make sense. And if you miss class, you can use this to make up that class by watching what I'm doing, seeing what I'm talking about, and what we are discussing. So, let's see here. Am I going to start with looking at the syllabus first? I don't think so, but, just a reminder that there is the syllabus, and this is all the things we are working on, and that you should have completed Reflection 1 by this time. And Reflection 1 was completing the first two articles in my modules. And for the next week, you should be working on Reflection 2, which is the next two articles in the modules. And I'll point those out as we go here. So you should have had one article reflection turned in by now, and we're starting to work on Reflection 2 after class today. That's what we're looking at. And yeah, that's all there is with the syllabus. Just a quick reminder on those things. And let's see here. So here's the resources again. For the first reflection, you should have done poverty's long-lasting effects on students and the effects of poverty on child development. For your next reflection, Reflection 2, the impact of poverty on educational outcomes for children and how poverty affects behavior and academic performance will be due the next week. Just the reminders there. Okay, getting into the slideshow here very shortly. Just a quick reminder. The way you get your 20 points here is being here and participating in class. For your exit ticket, we're going to look at Final Project Part 2 here. That's your exit ticket. I'll discuss what I want to see for that. And then there's your turn-in for Reflection 2. Right there. So, let's get into the slideshow, shall we? Core 102, Cognitive Development, Session Number 2. My name is Ben Mall. I'm your instructor. Here's the things we're looking at basically today. We're looking at theories of learning and cognition. We're looking at specifically behaviorism, Piaget's theory of cognitive development. We're also looking at Vygotsky's sociocultural theory and the classroom implications of each of these theories. Then we're going to get into some information processing, memory, and problem solving. Information processing classroom implications, memory classroom implications, and reasoning and problem-solving classroom implications. And then finally, cognitive ability, intelligence. What is intelligence? How does socioeconomic status, ethnicity, and culture influence intelligence, and classroom implications of that? We talked about instructional routines. We're all in virtual learning. I won't touch base on that too much. For this session, candidates will demonstrate a basic understanding of classic theories of learning and cognition by discussing experiences with students and how the student's presentation speaks to specific learning and cognitive theories. Demonstrate their knowledge of the key areas of information processing, memory, and problem solving. Candidates will discuss intelligence and its implications in the classroom environment, which will help them understand how executive functioning challenges impact students' ability to plan, organize, and orchestrate the necessary steps to complete assignments. Quick warm-up. Reflecting on what we discussed in class last week, how does risk and resilience affect a student's ability to learn? Was there a time this week when that topic resonated with you regarding a student in your classroom? If so, what was it? So, we talked a lot about risk and resilience last week, how a student's past experiences may impact their ability to take greater risks and to have greater resilience in their abilities to accept risk. Basically, the big thing for me on that is the idea of fight or flight. If a student has the ability to do something like a 30-minute sitting period of doing work without interruption, that would show a better ability to take risk and resilience in their work abilities, where a student who has difficulty doing just 5 minutes without having to get up, move around, things like that, might have lower resilience and risk. This is kind of the things that I'm going hand in hand with this. If any of you in the class would have anything to say in regards to that, what kind of things might have came up for you over the course of the past week in regards to these ideas? Getting into some behaviorism here, Piaget's theory of cognitive development. This is a theory that suggests that children's intelligence changes as they grow older. What we're going to do in class is that we're going to review this following website and be prepared to answer the following 4 questions in the next slide. If you'll skip ahead, you'll see that the 4 questions are: what are the 4 stages of cognitive development? What are schemas? What is the process of adaptation? And what are the applications of this theory in the classroom? Now, if you're inside my class and we're doing this online, we're going to do a Padlet for this, and people would click on that Padlet, and here's my Padlet, all right? And if nobody's ever done a Padlet before, this is basically sticky notes, where you add a sticky note, you type in a subject, you write something on there, that subject, and you post it on the wall here. So it's basically a gallery walk board, if anybody has ever done a gallery walk. And what I'm going to have students do is I'm going to have them go into groups of 3 or 4 in breakout rooms and create a Padlet answering these 4 questions while looking at looking at this website here, which is Simply Psychology, Piaget's Theory and Stages of Cognitive Development. And the reason why I chose this website is because a lot of the questions that I have go directly with this. You can click on these things and go to those different areas, and you can find all the different answers. And there's also a very nice little video here as well to talk about sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational thinkings of learning, okay, in regards to Piaget's ideas of how we grow up and learn, okay? So I'm going to have a good 15-minute breakout room session where people are going to go into this website and play around with the website and give me some ideas for my Padlet. That is the idea. For people who are not in class, you're going to have to add your own stuff to the Padlet and have to put your name directly on it, and you're going to have to answer at least 2 of those 4 questions, okay? You missed class, I want you to make up in some way. Give me 2 of the 4 answers here. Now, for the second part of this, for behaviorism, we're going to look at Vygotsky's sociocultural theory of cognitive development. This theory suggests that cognitive development is influenced by cultural and social factors. Please review the following website and be prepared to answer the following 4 questions on the next slide. And guess what? It's a very similar idea to the other website with Simply Psychology, and the reason why I like this website is, again, look, you can find a lot of this stuff right here and click right to it, and you can go to it to answer the 4 questions found right here. So, if you're in person, I'll talk through those 4 questions. I'll ask you to participate in my Padlet, put those on there. If you are not in my class, I will ask you to do 2 of the 4 questions and put it on my Padlet so that I know you completed this portion, okay? Basically, be all end all. While I'm doing this particular portion of the class, I'm going to be talking about just the 2 main big theories about what cognitive development is and what a lot of educationists and behaviorists base their ideas off of with Vygotsky and Piaget. I'm not going to get too in-depth with it. This is your guys' time to play. I'm not trying to talk all through it and be wordy. There was a book for this class in the previous iteration of this class where the teacher wanted you to basically read 100 pages by this time in between weeks. I don't want to do that. I want you to play in a website. I want you to get basic ideas in regards to this. I'm not looking to have you guys be sociocultural theorists. I'm trying to have you guys have a basic understanding of what kind of things are done or thought of in the way people and children grow up and learn. That's basically why I'm doing this. And then when we get back from those 2 breakout groups, we're going to discuss, as a group, showing the Padlet, what are the main differences between the theories that we discussed in this group, and just have a quick waterfall of ideas there. That's one of the strategies I used, where I had everybody type something in, hit enter, and then send it my way. Then, how does socioeconomic status, ethnicity, and culture influence influence intelligence is what I am trying to say. So, I included a quick little crash course to sociology here, the impacts of social class. If any of you have never used crash course websites, these are great little quick Cliff's Notes versions of different ideas in regards to different educational thought. And in this case, this crash course is about sociology, and we're looking at the impacts of social class in that particular video, which goes hand in hand with the idea of how does socioeconomic status, ethnicity, and culture influence intelligence. So we will watch that in class. Then we have an information process theory video. We have two videos basically we're showing here. And this one's an interesting one. If you heard that sound before in the brain, it's kind of odd, okay? But it's a good video, actually. There's going to be some parts where I'm going to pause it in the video. I'm going to ask follow-up questions in regards to this video. If you are inside the class, you'll be able to participate in that. If you are not inside the class, please watch this video as part of this particular makeup session and this video too as well in order to get some ideas in regards to the class. We're talking about information processing. What is it? What are the classroom implications? I should probably put some sort of part in there where it goes to an article. If you watch it in the video, it's right here.
Previously, we introduced the stages of the information processing theory.
So, we're looking at incoming information, sensory memory, short-term memory, working memory, elaborative rehearsal, long-term memory. Those are the steps of information processing, okay? And what are the classroom implications? The nice thing about this video is it talks about those classroom implications, and it's going to ask me to pause in certain parts. And then classroom implications of problem solving in regards to this. Well, here's my classroom applications for it. How to increase processing speed. That's one of the top things I usually like to work on, is students who are impacted by trauma may have deficits in their ability to process information. One of the best ways to help increase processing speed for students, play games with them. And I included a little website here that gives ideas in regards to processing speed and what kind of games help your executive functioning and help increase processing speed. And if you look at this website, there's some good games that they suggest here in regards to training your brain or getting ideas sped up. And for us, inside class, we're going to play a game ourselves. In fact, let's play a quick game ourselves. Don't press the button. Well, here's the game. It's called Don't Press the Button. You're going to click on this, and you're going to play Don't Press the Button. Now, I'm not going to play the game with you guys here. But in class, I'm going to give people 5 minutes to play the game Don't Press the Button. And whoever finishes the game first will raise their hand. And I'm going to time this, okay? And whoever finishes it first gets a prize. I haven't figured out exactly what that's going to be. We'll see. We'll do a round of applause or something. I don't know. But the game is Don't Press the Button. 5 minutes. Go. Figure out how to play the game. Do you touch the button? Do you want to touch the button? I wonder what happens if I just did. Think about what you would do in this situation. Anywho. Discussion. Individually. Piaget's cognitive development and Vygotsky's sociocultural theory. This is a very quick video. Just takes a minute or two. Please watch that. What are the differences, classroom implications of each theory? We talked about that. I'm not going to talk too much more in regards to that. Then we're going to get into a big breakout group. So we're going to talk about the group roles for these breakout groups. Group roles and norms make group work more efficient and effective. This is very similar to what we discussed. Somebody's going to have to be a facilitator, a reporter, a recorder, and a resourcer. And what we're going to do is we're going to break up into 3 groups, each group discussing a different question related to group diversity and intelligence. You will complete a Google slide presentation for this. Be prepared to share with the group. We will need to use group roles for this web quest. Group roles that I talked about right here. Now, we have 3 different groups. One group's going to be looking at boy versus girl brains. How are they different? What are the classroom implications? Socioeconomic status and intelligence, and then ethnicity and culture on brain development intelligence. So, one group's going to do one, another group's going to do another, and another group's going to do another. Now, this is a web quest. Now, I gave a good little jumping off point on each of these. These do have links to them. But you're welcome to do any article or look up any information that you might find. You might want to look at Google Scholar or just Google in general or whatever have you. Be prepared to share where you got your information from in your slideshow. So if you're here with me in person, I'm going to do the breakout groups. You're going to create a slide presentation within 15 minutes, talking about these ideas and how these differences happen in group diversity intelligence and what the classroom implications are for that. And you're going to share that information back in the group. Now, if you're not with me, you're going to have to do one of these on your own. I have to decide if I want you to do that on your own, because that's a lot of work for one person. You're missed class, but I do want you to at least get those, these Padlets in. Yeah, just worry about the Padlets. I'm not going to worry about you doing a slideshow. So, if I'm thinking about this through correctly, and again, this is me doing the dry run through, if you will. We're going to have about 15 minutes here. We're going to have about 15 minutes here. That's 30 minutes. We're going to have a quick little group discussion here. That's 35. We're going to have a video here. That's 45. We're going to have another video here. That's 50. We're going to have the game, 55. And then we're going to have a quick video, 57. And that's going to be about an hour 15 plus presentations, hour 30. That's about an hour 30. And then we get into the homework, talking about the reflection for the number 2 assignment. So, due prior to class 3, you have to give me your second article. And then you also have your exit ticket, all right? So the exit ticket for this particular week's slideshow is, it says, develop an initial lesson plan for how to incorporate developmentally driven strategies into academic instruction, upload to Canvas. Now, everybody here will have to have some form of a lesson plan embedded into their final project, okay? I'm not asking you to create this final lesson plan tonight, but you should have something like this, a general Teach Lake County lesson plan. That this might be the older version. You might have a newer version. I don't know. But if you do have a newer version, please use that. If this is what you've been using, please use that. But in your slideshow for the final lesson, you are going to want to embed a final lesson plan. For the exit ticket today, what I want you to do is, for reflection, what are each of the students' learning challenges for the 2 students that you chose from last week? What research did you do to try to understand the challenges and how they affect your students in the classroom? This research can include talking to past teachers, talking to parents, talking to aides. Maybe you did some sort of interview with the students. Maybe you did a review of their work. Maybe you can remember some past phone calls you've had, blah, 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 blah. Any form of that type of research I would accept. This is just simple 2-paragraph assignment. You give me 2 paragraphs, bada bing, bada boom, you're done with your exit ticket. And then remember that due prior to class number 3, you need to have those 2 articles from our modules from the Canvas Red, and give me an article reflection on that. And that'll end the class right there. I do feel like these slideshows might be just a tad bare in regards to what is intelligence. That might be the final thing I want to look up real quick and figure if I want to do something with that. Anywho, that's the slideshow. Pretty quick, pretty easy. Gonna be fun. And thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.